My name is Franz-Albrecht Oettingen-Spielberg, and I've dedicated my life to understanding and hunting Europe's most magnificent game species. Join me as I share my passion and field experience in the management and pursuit of my favorite five, where conservation, ethical hunting and sustainable management guide every decision we make.
We're back with our abnormal friend that we have now decided to take. Wind seems to be slightly more steady. We're going to go back to one of the stands where we've tried before. That is the center of his territory, so I'm hoping that he'll react. Fingers crossed.
Probably the most memorable situation that I've had calling Roebucks was the first buck I ever shot. And it was with my father, the former Duke of Bavaria, who was calling, and a very good friend of mine. We were all in a stand. It was, I think, 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We just, after lunch, quickly went out. And that's something that I will never forget. And that's also where my passion, I think, got started even more than before.
Just trying to figure out which is the best tree. You need to be fairly well covered, but at the same time you want to be able to see the most likely places he's going to come from. There's a single fawn just feeding by itself, which again leads me to believe that the female and the buck are together. Wind is steady, at least for now. When I get to a stand where I've made some noise coming in because of branches or anything, I wait at least 10 minutes for any roadie or any other animal that it might have got an idea that there's danger around to forget about it. But because we got in so quietly, I can start calling immediately. I think getting into the stand undetected is one of the most important parts of calling bucks, because ideally the buck that we're trying to call, because we're in his territory, is bedded down within 100-150 meter radius. But that of course means that if he hears cracks or if he hears something human-like, he's going to be much more critical to react to the call than if he hadn't heard anything.
My two go-to knives for the roe rat is a folding knife and a fixed blade. I like the fixed blade because it's exactly the right size to gut a roebuck, and the folding knife just in case I forget my fixed blade or I need to open any type of other things like bottles. I keep that as a backup. The sheaths are handmade with Tuscan leather by a friend in Munich, Philipp Stauffenberg, and he's also down below in the link. I think the quality of the habitat determines the population density. If you have a very rough habitat, bucks or the population of roe deer will only get to a certain level because there's not more food, and maybe weather conditions in the winter, like for example in the Austrian Alps, will only have so many roe deer survive. Or if you're in an area, for example in Spain, where there's not that much food, maybe in the northern part of Spain, the density automatically regulates itself because there's only so many animals that can live off the ground and the rest need to migrate to other places. So the habitat determines the population density. And if you have a very good habitat, for example, like most of the German forests, there's all types of food, there's enough green grass all year round, there's trees they can feed on, there's agriculture, etc. The roebuck territories become extremely small. And we have some bucks that live on 2 or 3 hectares inside the forest. I think the quality of the population, of course, depends on whether there's an overpopulation or whether the population is just right. And I think that's down to the hunter to help do a sustainable offtake and regulate the population size in a way that roe deer don't become sick, and at the same time the habitat that they live in here, especially forestry, doesn't take too much damage as well. So I think the question about overpopulation is more when the habitat is fantastic. Then there's a possibility that there might be too many animals, and that's where we come in as hunters, as regulators of that population.
then I saw them on the other side in the forest, moving into the thicket in front of us. Then they came through the thicket, they were feeding, and then he started mating, or he wanted to mate, so he was behind the female. And when that happens, they can go, I mean, either they go in circles or they just go back and that's it. So I had to just call 2 or 3 times to make him stop. And he managed, and he stopped. I mean, we've spent many, many hours trying to call this buck. And he came this morning, and then I wasn't sure whether to shoot him or not. Then we reviewed all the footage, we looked at the pictures from the last years and so on, and we decided, yes, it's a buck we want to take. My God. I'm still like, these bucks, they get me every time. And what a buck. What a buck. I can't believe it, I can't believe it. But it just goes to show, you call and call and call and call, and he was there all the time. 100 meters, 150 meters away. But he was so after his female that he doesn't care about any of the calling. I still can't believe it. Now it's one of the best moments is walking up on a buck. It's unbeatable. About the age. He's a good shootable buck. He's definitely not 3. He's at least 4 or older. But look at this buck. I mean, I'm slightly speechless again. Incredible. An incredible hunt. He didn't make it easy for us. Like I said, it's always a little sad when you finally manage to take the buck that you've been hunting, because knowing him for so many years, even though we're not 100% sure which one it is from last year, but we think we know, there's always a bit of sadness. But it just goes to show what can come out with good rodeo management. I mean, the quality that we have compared to the regional average is really a lot higher. And it's down to, management. It's knowing your population, balancing out the female to buck ratio, having a good age structure, hunting them in intervals, not putting too much hunting pressure on them, balancing them out with the forest. As you can see, there's a good amount of young trees growing here as well. And in the end, you can have both. You can have a good growing forest and you can have a wonderful rodeo population, which for me is really the main goal. And it's about sustainable offtake, so both with the forest, with agriculture and with wildlife. And of course the conservation of all is in the forefront.
but a result like this is just, yeah, makes me wanna keep working hard at it and hopefully have some more successes in the future. Yeah, it's just, for me, it's part of my life, and I cannot imagine living without the land, the animals, and everything as much in harmony as possible.
I think the summer, it's warm, it's beautiful outside, nature is dark green, and you have these red rutting bucks in the forest or in the field areas. There's something so special about it that is difficult to explain, but every roe hunter will understand that for us, it's the highlight of the year.